Hey. Hey. Anyway, fell off my chest back. Hi, it's Scola and welcome back to Motivation Monday. So today I am going to be sharing my little secrets. How your girl lost 14 pounds in 2 weeks. It's all a bit mad. It's a bit mad, so let's get right into it. Right, you guys have been asking me non-stop about my recent weight loss, like how have I lost weight and all that good stuff. So if you haven't already clicked that subscribe button, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribing, keeping up, hit the bell button too. It's all good, it's all good. Now let's get into this video. Gosh, for some reason, I'm really out of breath. What have I been doing? By the way, I'm sorry, the way the sun is coming in is just like creating a situation on my body. Spoiler alert, I lost 14 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm going to share how this actually happened, what went down, and just in general how I've been losing weight recently. You guys know I've been struggling for like the past 2, maybe 3 years. I've just been complaining, being a negative Nancy, like, oh my god, I can't lose weight, it's such a struggle, I have hypothyroidism, wow. And you know what? I'm done with being a victim. I am done with being negative Nancy. We have got positive Polly in the building. Can I get a what? First of all, I want to put a disclaimer out there before I even get into this video, because I know many people probably clicked on this video like, oh my gosh, I want to lose 14 pounds in 2 weeks too. Let's do this, okay? Let's find out how to make it happen. I will tell you right now, I did not lose 14 pounds of fat in 2 weeks. And also, I did not keep off the whole of the 14 pounds after the 2 weeks were done. There are ways to do that for sure, but the way I did it meant that I couldn't keep up that rate of weight loss. It wasn't all fat because I'm not entirely sure if that's physically possible. Obviously, the bigger you are and the more excess fat you have, the faster you can lose large amounts of weight in a short period of time, but odds are you're also losing a lot of water weight, and that's usually what people don't realize, is that you're actually losing a lot of water weight and it's not so much actual fat. Like, I know I probably just lost a lot of water weight and bloat that I had. Anyway, so the way I lost my 14 pounds is I actually went away to a boot camp. So I told you guys that I was going to go to boot camp for 2 weeks. Last year I went to the same boot camp for a week and I saw amazing results. I lost around 10 pounds last year in the first week at boot camp, which, well, it wasn't exactly 10 pounds, it was like 9 point something pounds, but like I rounded it up because, you know, easier. But anyway, this year I actually lost a way more in 1 week than I did last year, and then my following week wasn't as good. But I decided to go to a boot camp because I knew I needed that extra support, I needed that extra push, and I went to a boot camp called Team Bootcamp. They're lovely, they're amazing. If you're looking at going to a boot camp, I highly recommend it, but I am fully aware that going to a boot camp is not for everyone and it's not actually possible for everyone, which I completely understand. It takes a lot of like time, a lot of bravery to do it as well, a lot of commitment. It's just a lot. So I do appreciate not everyone has access to a boot camp. Maybe you're too young for it, you have too many commitments, whatever. So in this video, not only am I going to be sharing my experience at boot camp, but I'm also going to be taking key points and tips that I learned from there and how you can implement those at home so you can see success by yourself without having to go out to a boot camp like I did. But if you like the sound of boot camp, highly recommend it. Check out Team Bootcamp, I'll leave their details down below. Anyway, but I feel like I need to backtrack before I went to bootcamp because your girl was getting prepared before bootcamp even rolled around. So one thing I did, which I mentioned in my waking up at 5 a.m. every day video, is I started going to classes every morning. So I went to a studio in London called Grow. They do really cool classes that center around like rowing, like the rowing machine, which is an amazing machine to use, by the way. I had completely neglected the rower in the gym beforehand, but now absolutely love it. It's a great piece of cardio equipment, can really put yourself into work. Love it. So I did those classes for 2 weeks straight, literally every day, and I set myself that challenge. So my first tip that comes from that is to make an appointment, and I mentioned that in that video too. Make an appointment with somebody, and it really does help you to get fired up and get going, because once you've made a promise to somebody, if you're like me and you don't like letting people down, you will go for it. And that's quite similar to what I've done now. I actually decided to sign up to a half marathon, and I didn't want to let the charity down. I didn't want to let down the team as well, because I'm going to do the half marathon with the Grow team as well, like the trainers there and stuff. And making commitments like that and telling people you're going to do something is a really good way of helping you stay accountable because you've told somebody else. I started making promises to other people rather than just making promises to myself, because I noticed that I just kept letting myself down, and it's terrible, but I found it so much easier to let myself down rather than letting other people down. So that's a good first step to make. But anyway, let's get into boot camp. So I did make a video a few weeks ago about the training aspect. We were literally training 4 to 6 hours a day. Now that is not viable for the average person. No one could work out 4 to 6 hours a day on a regular basis. Keep in mind, there are people at boot camp that have been there for 12 weeks, so there are people that do that every day. You do get a rest day like once a week on a Friday, which is like a godsend. It's amazing, but you can do that much activity in a day. And I did mention in the video where I was talking about the training is that sounds crazy, but if you think about it, humans are so inactive right now. We are so inactive. We have washing machines, we have hoovers, we have cars, we have TVs. Like, well, TVs are a bit of a random one to put in this context, but we have things that do strenuous activities for us. So whilst it sounds crazy that we're training up to 6 hours a day, not every single session is 100%. It was like, you know, here we'd be hitting 60%, or we'd just be targeting abs, so it's not like cardio all day, or we'd just be playing games so you don't even realize you are exercising because we're literally just like throwing around stuff and all that good stuff. So that's what I loved about it, is that it was exercise, but it was really taking us back to caveman times almost, because I mean, it was very military in the style and it's very hardcore at times, but it is sort of like caveman times, like when we used to have to do everything for ourselves, and that's what our bodies were actually built for, being active and getting stuff done. Another aspect of caveman times that the boot camp uses is the diet. So the diet that we mainly eat at boot camp is a paleo, high fat, moderate protein, low carb sort of diet. Now, one thing they're big on is no sugar. They cut your sugar out so much that they have a thing called Sugar Crash Mondays. So basically you arrive at boot camp on a Friday, but you would have already eaten at home and all that kind of stuff. You arrive on the evening, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're eating your training at boot camp, right? And you don't leave until the following Friday. So that Monday, 3 days in, where you feel the effects of boot camp and you just break down because you're having a sugar crash, you're so moody, you're so irritable. It is literally just like a come down from drugs. I've never done drugs, so I'm not saying that from experience, but that's what they say. Oh no. Because people do tend to say that sugar is as addictive as heroin in some cases. Bold statement, but apparently it's true. For me, Monday, Tuesday were so bad. I remember waking up on the Tuesday morning, I was literally like lying on the floor shaking. I thought it was the end for me. I was like, this is it. And I went down to breakfast like, I can't even eat food. I am freaking out. I'm like, this did not happen to me last year, but I suppose maybe my sugar intake might have gone up in the past year more than usual. Maybe that's why the withdrawals were a bit tougher for me. I don't know. Anyway, one of the lovely guys at boot camp was like, you just need to take this like diurolite thing, which is just to replace your electrolytes. I was not dehydrated as such, but just to replace your electrolytes, and maybe I was a little bit dehydrated. That helped so much, honestly, and I should have known that from when I did keto, because when you're on keto you also do a similar drink, like an electrolyte drink where you put like pink Himalayan salt in and like sodium in the drink to like boost up your hydration and that kind of stuff, and it makes you feel better. And there's something called the keto flu. It's very similar, but we're not eating keto at boot camp. Another thing they do at boot camp is you eat very small portions. So that is another top tip to reduce your portion sizes. So we stopped eating on big dinner plates. We started eating on tiny little plates. So the first week, your girl was like, okay, that was good. By Friday, I was so excited to be free and all that good stuff. And then the second week was tough. I was literally just counting down until I got to go home, and yeah, it was very tough. And the thing is, the people there are lovely and they really did make it such a good experience. Like, it really helped to look forward to the evenings where we'd be playing games and having fun with each other. And like, I made a really good friend, and she's still at boot camp. She's been there for a while. If you're watching this, you know who you are, girl. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good. Try not to be so inactive, honestly. Once you've been at boot camp, you come home, you're like, oh my gosh, why wasn't I utilizing my time and my body more? Like, my body can do so so much, and I just really didn't appreciate that. Like sometimes, you know, you'll be at home and you'll be like, oh, I should really like go and do laundry, I should go and clean up, and I'm like, oh, I'm too tired, I don't want to tire myself out. You can work out for 6 hours a day. You're not gonna get tired from whipping out the ironing board, okay? So it's really helped with that. Like honestly, my house has never been cleaner before. I love cleaning anyway, but usually only comes in bursts and sometimes, but now every day I dedicate like some time to make sure the house is in order. I do a big job cleaning up. Yesterday, randomly decided to clean the sofas, but that's because I watch Mrs. Hinch on what's it called, on Instagram, and she did a bit of a thing on like how to clean sofas. If you follow her, let me know. She's great and I love cleaning, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is great, I want to clean my sofas. But anyways, I do feel amazingly great now. So basically I lost about 13 point something pounds. I just rounded it up to 14 pounds because honestly it's so much easier. And the reason I'm saying I think I must have lost more than 14 pounds is in the last week my period started to start, like not fully, but like it was on its way to starting, and so I noticed I suddenly got bloated. Like I'd gotten snatched in the first week and then all of a sudden I'm getting bloated and I'm like, this doesn't make sense, and it was just because of my period. So I was really disappointed because in the first week I lost 11 pounds. 11 pounds. Now, like I said, that wasn't all fat. It was mostly water weight and that kind of thing, but I did lose some good amount of pounds. And then the next week I only lost 3 pounds. Typically in your second week at bootcamp you tend to lose like half of what you lost in the first week, so to go from 11 pounds to 3 pounds was kind of disheartening because I was like, what did I do? But it was purely just because of my period. And I remember walking into the room, I told everyone I was on my period that week, and I'm usually quite shy about those kind of things. I'm like, I don't want everyone to know like my business and like what's going on in my area. But I was just like, I'm on my period, I'm on my period, I'm on my period. I just wanted, one, for people to know why maybe I'm a little bit off, two, you know, why I'm bloated and upset, and I get really bad cramps, and sometimes the only way to get rid of my cramps is just to run. It's really weird. Like even if I'm at home, if I get cramps and it's really hurting, I just get outside and I just try to like jog and run because it's the only thing that calms it down, because I really do get bad cramps. It's so weird, but that's what works for me. So it might work for you too. And then also I knew it would probably cause me to gain weight, so I was already kind of upset about that. It's okay, 3 pounds is still a good amount for me to lose. Like honestly, it was an amazing achievement because you guys know I have a condition called hypothyroidism that's been causing me to gain weight, and I can't lose weight just doing normal things like just working out, like, you know, 4 days a week and like eating right. It doesn't cut it anymore for my body. I have to be going to the extreme, like going to a boot camp and doing that kind of thing to lose weight for my body. I know a lot of people with hypothyroidism are always getting at me like, Scola, that's not how it is for everyone. You make it seem so dramatic and terrible. For me, it is. Sorry, I'm just a little bit frustrated. Like I've had it up to here with other people with the hypothyroidism, like telling me my experience is wrong. Like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna come at you and be like, oh my gosh, you know, oh, it's so easy for you, and like I just don't understand why people like to like negate your experience because their experience is different. Like if that's your experience, that's cute, like make a video about it too. Like why tell me mine is wrong? Like I get so frustrated when I share my hypothyroidism struggles and stuff and people tell me I'm wrong or I'm doing something wrong and I'm not doing it right and I just need to do that or do this, and it's like, you don't know me. Like you don't live inside my body, you don't know how it feels. So I just had to go off on one real quick because I've been holding it in and I try to be really nice. And it's so funny because literally the other day I did a Q&A and someone asked me like, Scola, how do people get taken aback when you like, you know, come at them? You're a little bit more serious and stuff like that because you're usually so cheery and bubbly. Now you see I've done it. Let's see how this turns out. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. I do want to put a disclaimer out there whenever I talk about sorry, I was just zipping up my sports bra. By the way, it's from Pop Flex. You don't know, it's Blogilatti's brand. Very lovely. I love the sports bra. When I do make weight loss videos, I always want to be very conscious about how I put it across and the message I'm giving out when I'm talking about all these numbers and that kind of thing. At the end of the day, if I stayed looking the way I do, I wouldn't mind. I am still a snack. In fact, I'm a whole meal, if not a buffet. And I still love myself. I still think that I'm beautiful. And there is so much more to me than what you see on the computer screen, what you see on my Instagram with my perfect perfectly posed pictures that have been like, you know, edited to make them look super fun and happy. I am so much more than that, and health and fitness is so much more than that. It is about how you feel. I struggle with my mental health so much, and since that has become such a big part of my life as well, at the end of the day, I don't care if I, you know, don't lose the weight or don't look a certain way, because at the end of the day, after every workout, I feel so much better than I did beforehand. I feel so much more uplifted. I feel so much happier. Working out helps me make so many connections. I've made so many new friends, whether it was at Bootcamp or at the Grow Studio or when I went to a Zumba vacation. I realized one thing I love about health and fitness is how it connects you to other people and helps you to feel better about yourself. In terms of the actual science of it, like in your mind, like the endorphins and everything, that's what it's really about, because it improves your day to day, and it's not always about what you look like. And honestly, if I was doing all of this just for the way that I look, I would have given up quite a long time ago. I would have just given up. I would have been like, do you know what, this isn't working, I'm done. But my health is so important to me. The way I feel every day is so important to me, and that's really what motivates me and drives me. I want to get to that level where I'm a productive, happy person who exercises regularly, who is healthy and fit and able to perform to a higher level, and doesn't have any health risks from, for example, carrying extra weight, which I know I will if I let myself go. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this whole video and watching me ramble. I hope it was helpful for you. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay luscious, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!